I'm going to be demonstrating how to make almond milk. Now, almond milk is a staple of the raw food diet, but it's also fantastic for introducing into your non-raw food diet because it's dairy-free, it's full of enzymes and full of goodness that you quite often don't get in other milk, dairy milk substitutes, so soy milk and rice milk and things like that have been pasteurised before you actually get to consume them, whilst almond milk is super fresh. And you make it using soaked almonds, and I'm going to show you what happens when you soak almonds. Okay, so I have soaked 1 cup of almonds, and I want you just to see what a dry weight of almonds looks like. So if I put that on the board there, that should give you an idea of what that looks like. Now, here are ones that I've soaked. Now you need to soak them for at least 8 hours or overnight, and you can probably see there that the water has gone quite murky. So now what we do is we rinse them, and by rinsing them we actually get rid of all the enzyme inhibitors in the nuts. Now the enzyme inhibitors are there to stop the nuts from turning into trees, so whilst they're dry, they're dormant, but as soon as you soak them, the enzymes come alive in the nuts. You release the enzyme inhibitors and they become much more nutritionally dense and good for you, and also much easier to digest. So to rinse them, you mix them round like this. I usually find that 2 or 3 times of replenishing the water and draining it off makes it nice and clear, makes the water nice and clear, which means that you've got rid of as many of the enzyme inhibitors as possible. Now, some people take the skins off their nuts, but to be honest, I don't bother because I don't find that they're a problem at all. Okay, so here you've got your dry weight of 1 cup of almonds, and now I'm going to show you what the wet weight looks like once they've actually absorbed the water. So you can see that basically in volume it grows by at least twice as much. Now I'm going to use the quite standard raw food ratio of 1 cup of almonds to 3 cups of water. When I very first went raw, I really needed that ratio. I needed it to be that dense in nuts. But now that I've been raw for a while, I actually find this too creamy. So if you're coming from drinking dairy milk or rice milk, then you'll probably find that this suits you fantastically. But if you're coming from really not drinking much milk at all, then you might really just use half a cup of nuts, which is about what I use. I use about half that number to make 1 litre of almond milk. So I'm going to use 3 cups, which is 750 millilitres of filtered water. And I'm going to blend it on the extra large smoothie setting of my blend tech. Now, I'm now using a blend tech, but when I first started I was just using 1 blender like this, and it does take longer and it's difficult to get it as fine, get the nuts as finely blended as you can in one of these, but it still works really well. And you just need to keep blending until the nuts are as fine as you can get them. Now, what I use to actually strain the milk is a jelly bag. Nut milk bags are quite hard to find, and jelly bags are, you can just make jam and jelly. You can go to any old cook shop and they will sell jelly bags or muslin that you usually strain jelly through it. And it works absolutely brilliantly for nut milk, I find. So I have a bowl with a lip on it because it just makes it easier for pouring, and this happens to be the perfect size for my jelly bag. And I just kind of wrap it around over the top and pour my almond milk in. Now, some people don't feel the need to strain their almond pulp out of their almond milk. They don't mind the grainy texture, but I really love to have a silky, smooth, rich milk. So you're basically squeezing the bag, not too hard, but just to kind of help the milk come out. Now, the almond pulp really has had most of its goodness removed in the milk. What you're left with is mostly fibre. So I either compost mine or I dehydrate it to make crackers with, depending on, you know, whether I've got something on in the dehydrator anyway, and I can just put my almond pulp in to dry out. And it takes probably about 3 to 4 hours to dry out fully. But I don't feel so bad about throwing it away because I know that all the goodness is in the milk. And, you know, I have almond milk every day. It's very high in calcium, very high in protein. It's got fantastically good fats for you. And, you know, healthy fats can actually help you to lose weight. They don't put weight on you. So I think that's probably enough. You can keep squeezing until it's all gone. I'm just going to get a glass and show you what that looks like. So here you go. This is almond milk. Ooh. And it tastes absolutely divine. Now you can use this in smoothies, in soups, just as it is like this. I like to make a lovely warm chocolate chai with spices and dates.